And so before I get started, I wanted to take an opportunity to acknowledge the traditional territories of the people of Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta and the city of Calgary, home to Métis Nation, Alberta Region 3. We're very pleased when we got this call to host this event and very proud of the Chamber's role as podium of record on issues that matter deeply to the business community and the city and, of course, our province. This is WestJet's announcement, and these events are an opportunity to bring the business community together, as evidenced by the diversity that we have in the room by the businesses represented today. And events like this are gatherings that also provide a vital role in inspiring all of us. In a moment, I'll invite Ed Sims up to the podium to make today's announcement. Before I do that, I just wanted to introduce a few guest dignitaries that are here today who are also going to be speaking. The Honorable Amarjeet Sohi, Federal Minister of Natural Resources. Honorable Darian Billis, Alberta's Minister for Economic Development and Trade. The Honorable Naheed Nenshi, Mayor of the City of Calgary, as we know. And Bob Sutter, President and CEO of the Calgary Airport Authority. And so with that, as you know, we're going to have a bit of a program, but with that, I'd like to invite Ed Sims, CEO of WestJet, to come up and make the announcement.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming on this gorgeous Calgary morning. Thank you, Sandeep, for the warmth of your introduction and for your leadership at the helm of the Chamber. I'd like to begin this morning by honouring the traditional territories of the people of the Treaty 7 region, which includes the Blackfoot Confederacy, Tsuut'ina First Nation, and the Stoney Nakoda First Nation. The city of Calgary is also home to the Métis Nation of Alberta Region 3. And I'd like to extend a special welcome to our friend Hal Eagletail for representing your people today. Thank you. When I think about all of the attributes of WestJet's founders, and we are so pleased and honoured today to be joined by our chairman and founder, Clive Beddoe. Thank you for joining us today, Clive. Today is really a tribute to their entrepreneurial spirit, their can-do attitude. And it's so easy to see why they chose Calgary as the place to launch WestJet 22 years ago. WestJet was born and raised here. We've never forgotten our roots, and we've never forgotten the tremendous support of Albertans right from day one. As Albertans have supported WestJet, we have supported you. We've been through ups and downs together, but always shoulder to shoulder. And as you've probably gathered by now from my accent, I'm not fortunate enough to be a native Albertan. I'm from a pair of little islands slightly to the west of Alberta called New Zealand, via Wales. And I've been shaped by my 33 years in the aviation and travel industry around the globe. But of all the places I have lived and operated, I have never come across a relationship as symbiotic and as intrinsic as the relationship between WestJet and our home in Calgary and in Alberta. WestJet was not simply made in Alberta, we are made of Alberta. And there are not many airlines who have such a close intrinsic relationship with the hometown and with their home province. Our investments here in Calgary have already driven economic growth and helped diversify this economy. We are in lockstep with the Chamber's campaign of It's Grow Time, and we bring to life many of Calgary Economic Development's goals under its building on our energy strategy, especially its entrepreneurial spirit. And we are, of course, incredibly excited to be part of Calgary's bid to be the official home of the 2026 Olympics. Our mission as a company has been simple: to enrich the lives of everyone in WestJet's world. And we believe, in fact we know, we have had a significant impact. According to analysis performed by RP Ericsson and Association, even before today's announcement, and I will come to that, the yearly economic output generated by WestJet's presence in Calgary totals some $3.6 billion, supporting over 23,000 direct and indirect roles here in the province. Province-wide, our yearly recurring economic output is over $5 billion, supporting over 32,000 direct and indirect jobs in the Albertan economy. And of course, we are very proud of our overall national economic impact on Canada, where our investments generate some $17.4 billion in economic activity, supporting 153,000 jobs annually. So let's bring this forward to today's announcement. We are delighted to share with you our next step on our journey. We are proud to announce that the home of our initial 787 Dreamliner service will be in our home that shares our entrepreneurial spirit. The home of the three first 787 Dreamliners will be here in Calgary at Calgary International Airport. And WestJet will be the first airline to base Dreamliner services from our great partner at Calgary International. WestJet today operates 3 central hub airports through Vancouver, Calgary, and Toronto. But we chose Calgary for the 787 launch because when it comes to wide-bodied international service, this market is considerably underserved. And we look forward to connecting Calgarians and Western Canada through Calgary. Albertans need and deserve more choice, more competition, and lower airfares. WestJet has always stood for these and always will. These are in our DNA. For those of you who have not yet had the chance to fly on the 787 Dreamliner, it is an absolute game changer. The only aircraft where I have ever known guests to ring our contact center and say, "I'd like to fly on the Dreamliner, where will you take me?" We will have 320 seats, including a full business cabin with 16 lie-flat beds. It will also have 24 premium economy seats, featuring 2x2 seating and premium amenities. It will have an enhanced economy seat with state-of-the-art in-flight entertainment and new, very comfortable seats designed for longer-haul flying. And as I look to my right and look at my colleagues from WestJet, I can only imagine how we will take service levels in our airline industry to new heights. I could not be more excited. But the 787 is also extremely fuel efficient. The engine we've chosen to use for our Dreamliners, manufactured by General Electric, is 15% more fuel efficient and produces 15% fewer carbon dioxide emissions than our current 767 fleet. It is also the quietest commercial airline that GE has ever produced, further enhancing the onboard experience. But if a picture is worth 1,000 words, a video is worth a whole lot more. Let's take a closer look at WestJet's 787 Dreamliner.
Jet, and we're about to take off.
That was our new television commercial that aired for the first time on Saturday, and very shortly we'll take you into a more in-depth view of the video. But that commercial showed a new logo, a new brand positioning for WestJet. As I mentioned earlier, our goal is to bring more of Canada to the world and more of the world to Canada. To do this, we needed to refresh the look of WestJet and how we speak about our airline. It represents the new WestJet. You might not have picked up on it, but we've added the spirit of Canada in English et en français on the fuselage. to ensure that we remain uniquely Canadian. And as our international expansion continues, we believe there are a lot of new guests who have yet to fly WestJet and will come to understand the role that our people play in humanizing air travel with Canadian care, with Canadian compassion, and with Canadian charisma. So much of what we have delivered as an organization in recent times, our joint venture with Delta Airlines, WestJet Link, enhancements to our rewards programs, have been like jigsaw pieces in a complex puzzle. And today, we have the great honor and pleasure of revealing the picture that's on the jigsaw box. So with that, I'd just like to take you through a quick review of the actual 787. Can we show that second video?
This is a story for the ones who fly in the face of convention. For everyone who decided to go their own route. Here, we've always charted our own path. A little west of center, if you will. So to anyone who believed in themselves when no one else did, everyone who believes in where they're going, welcome aboard the new WestJet. WestJet. Love where you're going.
Announcement, and the reason why all of you got out of bed so early this morning on a cold, crisp Calgary day. Where are we going to point these new aircraft? With our first 3 Dreamliners based here in Calgary, you need to know where they're going to go. So beginning next spring, we are launching non-stop services. And remember, it's so important to have non-stop direct services from Calgary to not 1, not 2, but 3 destinations on board our 787. And to help me reveal these destinations, I'd like to ask our special guests today, Minister Sohi and Billis and Men Nenshi, to come up on stage and perhaps join me next to these giant boarding passes, which we're shortly about to reveal. And our glamorous assistant Fabrizio will help with the reveal. Our first destination, non-stop from Calgary on a WestJet 787, will be Dublin, Ireland. And our second destination will be London, Gatwick in England. And our third, I'm just testing your card playing skills here, it's pretty impressive. Our third destination will be Paris, France. So why have we chosen Dublin, London, Paris? Our guests already love these destinations. We know the demand from Canada is strong for both business and leisure travel. These are also key and incredibly important markets for our tourism authorities and our great friends at Tourism Calgary here at home. Calgary is so well positioned geographically to serve Western Europe. We know we'll see strong traffic also from the Western USA as Americans take advantage of our currency differential, our strong relationship with Delta Airlines, and our schedule to connect via Calgary. These 3 new services, according to RP Erickson and Associates, on a yearly basis, will support an incremental 650 full-time jobs in the region and an additional total economic benefit of around a further 100 million. Impressive numbers, but there's more. These new services represent more choice, more competition, and as I mentioned earlier, lower airfares for all travelers through and from Western Canada. Canadians in cities of all sizes, including those we've recently connected with our regional service, WestJet Encore and WestJet Link, will benefit hugely from these services. We'll be operating 14 flights a week from the UK and Western Europe into Calgary. That's just shy of 4,500 seats per week, or 234,000 seats per year. if we take an average load or occupancy on our flights of around 85%, we have around 80%, sorry, we have the opportunity to bring up to 185,000 incremental visitors to Calgary every year on these 3 new flights. Needless to say, the potential for these new routes to boast local tourism is huge. We are so excited about the opportunity to take our guests non-stop to new destinations abroad, and just as excited when we think about the opportunity to bring guests from around the world to Calgary, to Alberta, and to our wonderful country. So in conclusion, I would like to express my very sincere appreciation to Ministers Sohi and Billis and to Men Nenshi for joining us here today. And of course, to my great colleague Bob Sator and his wonderful team here at Calgary International Airport for their support of this initiative. Strong airlines need strong partners. Calgary Airport are all of that and more. And I would also like to thank Sandeep and her team at the Calgary Chamber for your support and for co-hosting. But finally, in closing, I would like to reserve special thanks to my colleagues, our WestJetters, who are watching right now on YouTube and Facebook this morning. Thank you to each and every one of you for making this announcement possible. This is our home. This is our moment. This is our brave new world. Thank you for joining me on every step of the way. Ladies and gentlemen, in finally concluding, as we've made our investment in Canada, as we've made our investment in Alberta and Calgary, now it's yours turn. It's your turn. Use these amazing new global connections, Calgary. Don't lose them. Our flights to Dublin, to Paris, to London go on sale at 10 o'clock this morning. Let the bookings begin. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Well, it's fantastic. I would also echo the call to book because it's just fantastic to be able to get to Europe in that way. And I know many people have family and friends that way, but more importantly, the business connection. So thank you for that. And it's very exciting for the city overall to have such growth happening. I'd like to now welcome to the stage President and CEO of the Calgary Airport Authority, Bob Satter, to say a few words.
Thank you, Sandeep, and thank you, Ed, for inviting me to speak. What can I say? Wow. This is truly a great day for WestJet. It's a great day for the city of Calgary and for our province. And not lost on me, it's a great day for our airport. We are thrilled to receive these first 3 787s. They will make a great difference in our international terminal. And as Ed said, it's great for business and it's great for tourism. But it's also great for Calgary and the surrounding area and for our catchment area that we draw on as an airport. What this means is we're giving not only Calgarians, but Albertans and folks from Saskatchewan, BC, the Pacific Northwest, options to get to international destinations. And that's really important. That's what makes a hub airport. And thanks to WestJet, we are rapidly becoming a global hub airport. WestJet has decided that Calgary will be an airport that is a major hub for them. As Ed said, they have a couple of other hubs. Our job at YYC is to make sure we do everything possible to facilitate growth and to facilitate WestJet's growth. I've often said in speeches that our airport punches above its weight, and it does. In a city of roughly under 1.3 million people, last year we had roughly 16.3 million passengers. This year, we're on track to hit 17.3 million people coming through our terminal, an increase of 1 million people, thanks in large part to our partner, WestJet. And as we look ahead to 2019, we see ourselves growing potentially to 18.3 million passengers. That is a hub airport for a city of our size. And again, it is WestJet's vision and strategy, with which we wholeheartedly concur, is the reason why we're growing so well, and why Calgarians and Albertans will have so much more choice in the future. WestJet, as a hub carrier, is a key strategic partner for our airport, and is really rapidly transforming us from what was an airport with a few connectivity points outside of North America to an airport that will have many more in the future. They will drive traffic, they will drive more connections, and as I've said before, we're the busiest connecting airport in Canada as a percentage of our total business, and that will grow under this strategy by WestJet. And our job is to become absolute experts in connecting passengers so that they have a seamless and smooth journey throughout the airport. WestJet has been and will continue to be a primary growth driver at our airport and an investment partner. We look forward to many more years with WestJet in terms of growth and investment. And certainly one of the things that's really important, and Ed's pointed out, our role as an airport and our mandate is to drive regional growth and jobs. And with the help of WestJet, we'll be able to do that as well. The aircraft represent a significant investment from our partner WestJet. And not lost on us is the fact that they made an announcement last year about a fairly significant hangar for their wide-body planes, and that significant investment creates lots of jobs and drives up economic activity. So this isn't just about routes, it's about employment, it's about investment as well, investment in our province and in our city. Certainly what this means is, ahead of our schedule, we'll be looking at potentially increasing and improving concessions in our international terminal. With more flights, there will be more demand and more choice for passengers at YYC. I'm going to close by thanking the entire WestJet team and the WestJet board for entrusting their first 3 787s to Calgary. We won't disappoint. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bob. So it's just been about a month or so since the Calgary Chamber launched its new purpose, which is to nourish, power, and inspire the business community locally and globally. And I feel like we've done that today via WestJet. This is about the businesses in Calgary, not just about the Chamber. We're just the podium of record. So thank you, WestJet, and to the Airport Authority for inspiring and nourishing and powering our business community. We had called out a challenge. It was called Grow Time, and it was a rally cry to businesses to come in and think about moving forward, getting that edge, and being entrepreneurial and dreamers and scientists and moving that forward. And our effort was to instill confidence, and it's great to have such a fantastic example just a month into that. Obviously, there was some serendipity in it, so thank you, Ed, to you and your team for that. And with that, I can tell you that WestJet has been very much a textbook example of inspirational growth and creativity. As you heard, they grew from 220 in 1996 to over 12,000 today, and no doubt WestJet obviously is going to continue down that path with the global network. And this is a major step forward in the direction and continuation of the great Calgary business story. As WestJet starts breaking across social media, I bet you those news outlets and everyone is going to be talking about the business leaders at large in Calgary, and that's the kind of confidence that we need to boost out. Again, it all comes to shape with businesses, so it's another reminder for us to make sure that we have the tools to be successful here at home and abroad. So today's good news is a nice shot in the arm to perhaps invest in new infrastructure projects, open new offices in the city, new provinces, or other countries, but simply just move forward and think about its grow time. Regardless of the scale, Calgary's business community has always fed off the success of one another, and we celebrate each other's successes, and that's contagious, and that's what we need. Despite the inherent competition that happens, we've always been very exceptional, generous to one another, sharing expertise, insights, and opinions, and dreams. So after talking to hundreds of business leaders, today is a great example of what that means, and I continue to be convinced around that simply strong purpose, strong voice of one business community, one community. So together with that, I'd like to thank again Ed and the WestJet team for contributing to that success. As we continue to remind ourselves, remember how you're feeling today, remember how you felt when they announced the 3 destinations and you're like, yeah, I got this. Oh yeah, remember there's that business, or maybe we can do something more broadly now. It's about thinking bigger and acting. So we simply want to continue those great success stories and inspire the tremendous capabilities of innovation being developed right here in Calgary. Our next speaker is always one of our city's most vocal supporters, and I'm sure he is welcoming this news with good opportunity to show off the Calgary spirit to a new audience. I'd like to now welcome our Mayor, Naheed Nenshi, to the podium.
Well, thanks so much, Sandeep. I am thrilled to be here with all of you today. It is a big day. How do you know it's a big day? It takes a lot to get me to a 7:30 a.m. press event. It therefore must be a big day. It's also a big day because I very rarely get to speak before the federal and provincial minister and scoop them. So I'm excited about that too. So I'm standing before you today in a number of roles. Proud WestJet Gold member. I thought there was another announcement about that too, but anyway. Permanent gold status, maybe? I don't know. Aviation geek. I can go on and on about the 787 Dreamliner and what a pleasure it is and the configuration and the engines WestJet has chosen. But most important, of course, as Mayor of Calgary, because what I want to talk about today is the importance of WestJet to our city. You know, the addition of the Dreamliners, making Calgary a hub, these things really matter. These 3 destinations are incredibly important. I understand from Bob that this is the first time we've ever had nonstop service to Dublin and to Paris from here in Calgary, which means my colleague Cindy Adey and her team at Tourism Calgary have a lot of work to do, because it's not just about our excitement about our chance to go to these places nonstop, but it's about welcoming folks from those places, welcoming tourists and welcoming investment from Western Europe here, and that is a very big deal. It's also a big deal for so many of our global companies based here in Calgary who need these connections to their markets, to their customers, to their suppliers. It is a very, very, very big deal. Did I say that already? Let me tell you the other reason it's a big deal. As you heard, this will support 650 jobs in Calgary. It'll support $100 million in economic output in this community. That's a big deal. And it's really something that talks about Calgary's future as continuing to be a global business hub. We are so proud of WestJet. WestJet in so many ways is Calgary. When Clive and his colleagues got 220 people at startup, that's a pretty big startup, 220 employees. People thought they were kind of crazy. And right? And since then, as you've heard, nearly 13,000 employees, 100 destinations, 22 countries. I don't think it's too much to say that that amazing story had to happen in Calgary. That together this company and this community have grown remarkably, that I cannot say enough about how much we are proud of this company. Calgary is a place where we dream. Calgary is a place where nothing stops us. Calgary is a place where we think big, and we know that everything is possible, that the skies are limitless. And no company better exemplifies that for this community than WestJet does. Our job is to create more global champions that grow up right here in Calgary across a series of industries. And WestJet does that so incredibly well, and does that by never ever forgetting their hometown, and never ever forgetting what this town is all about and what we are all about And I think that is extraordinary. I think that is an incredible commitment. And that is something that we have to celebrate every single day. And the best part of all of that, as all of you know, we're WestJet fans as I am, are the WestJetters. The team members at WestJet and the remarkable work that they do every single day in serving their guests, never customers, never passengers, always guests, right? And I believe that that too is a story of Calgary. It's about how we greet people. It's about how we welcome people. You always hear me say that in a world where the trend is to be closed minds, closed hearts, closed borders, we are a place that remains defiantly open to the world. We are open to people, we're open to ideas, we're open to investment, and nobody exemplifies that more than WestJet and those hardworking WestJetters every day. So congratulations. We are very, very proud, and we cannot wait to see the next chapter. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Naheed and Jean. Next up, we will have Government of Alberta Representative Honourable Darian Billis, Minister of Economic Trade and Development.
Good morning. The Alberta economy is growing and diversifying. Jobs are up with 90,000 new full-time jobs created last year, most of those in the private sector. Small business confidence is up, business starts are up. Since the beginning of 2018, more than 26,000 businesses have incorporated in our province. Manufacturing is up, exports are up, wages are up, and retail sales are breaking records in our province. That's why I'm so pleased to be here this morning to celebrate how we are continuing to build on that momentum. And this announcement by WestJet is proof that Alberta continues to be the best province to work, do business, and invest in. It's my pleasure to be here with you on traditional Treaty 7 territory and also on traditional Métis lands. I want to thank Sandeep for hosting us and Ed and your team for inviting me to be here and part of today's announcement. I also want to acknowledge I'm joined by Amarjeet Sohi, our Minister of Natural Resources, our Mayor, and one of my government colleagues, MLA Graham Sucha, the MLA for Calgary-Shaw. Now I can tell you Premier Notley wishes that she could be here with us this morning, but because she was unable to be, she has sent a short video greeting. So if we can roll that, please. As the Premier said, we are truly excited to be a part of today's announcement. Albertans want to build an economy for the future. We have world-class universities and colleges, one of Canada's youngest and best educated workforces. Albertans continue to pay the lowest overall taxes compared to any other province in the country, and we have vast trade and investment opportunities across many sectors. Alberta will continue to be the best place to do business and to invest. And WestJet's expansion will make it that much easier and comfortable for the world to come here and experience all that Alberta has to offer. Now, there's one thing that I've learned in my time as Minister of Economic Development and Trade when it comes to the airline industry, and that is gaining new routes is a very, very exciting and important announcement, but filling the aircraft is equally as important, and that goes both ways. And so I do want to echo Ed's comments that sales go on, or tickets go on sale at 10 o'clock, but it's absolutely critical to not only our tourism markets, but our business communities as well, that we use these routes and that we fill these aircrafts. Because if not, what we don't want is to be in a position down the road where WestJet has to make some changes. And so these are very positive announcements. And I can tell you that we're very proud to do our part as the government of Alberta. A program that we introduced about a year and a half ago is called the Alberta Export Expansion Program, which gives small and medium-sized businesses some support in order to access new markets. And so announcements like today dovetail very nicely with programs that we are trying to support our businesses to diversify their markets. And so I encourage everyone to look at those programs and supports available, which will help ensure that we are filling these Dreamliners. We're extremely proud of WestJet being an Alberta company that has continued to grow and help diversify Alberta's economy. And we truly appreciate that WestJet continues to make Alberta their home. So Ed, again, thank you on behalf of Premier Notley and our government to you and your team. We wish you all the best and congratulations on this exciting announcement. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Billis. I'd now like to welcome the Honourable Amarjeet Sohi, the current Member of Parliament for Edmonton Millwoods and the Federal Minister of Natural Resources.
Well, thank you, Sandeep, and actually it's nice to see you. Some of you may not know Sandeep actually grew up in Edmonton. So it's nice to see an Edmontonian leading Chamber of Commerce in Calgary. All true. And I'm the last politician to speak. And when you're the last politician to speak, you don't have much to say, particularly when you speak after Mayor Nancy. Because he covers everything, and he covers everything so eloquently that that you struggle to find something new to say. But indeed, it's my honor that I was invited to be part of this exciting announcement here in Calgary. But I do want to start by acknowledging, as everyone else have done, that we are gathered here on traditional territory of Treaty 7. And every time we get the opportunity, I think it's very fitting that we take that moment to reflect on how blessed we are as Canadians, that we have the opportunity to build our lives on this land, and the generosity and the warmth and the welcome that we received from Indigenous peoples, First Nations, Métis and Inuit people is something that we always need to remember and be thankful of. Darren talked about the importance of economic growth and jobs and opportunities and potential of this announcement. And absolutely he's right. And as governments, what we need to do, and we'll have to do more, and we've been doing that, how do we build the capacity of communities to take on these opportunities? How do we build that stronger middle class that people can actually afford to take that trip to overseas? And opportunities for us to invest in our own communities to grow the economy in a way that our cities become a destination for tourists from around the world. So this addition of 3 direct flights to those destinations will allow Canadians to go visit those destinations and allow many others to come to Canada, particularly here to Calgary, to see the beauty of this region and visit destinations in Alberta. I think that is the part of the success that you have done today. You're helping build stronger communities, you're helping grow our economy, you're helping create jobs, but at the same time, you're opening up opportunities for the world to see what Calgary and this region, Alberta and Canada, has to offer. In closing, we talked about the new brand of WestJet and the video that we saw. And I fly often now because I live in Edmonton. I go to Ottawa. I go to different destinations for my work-related responsibilities. But I think the best brand that WestJet has is its people. And I think you continue to strengthen that. I think you continue to believe in that. You continue to cherish that. Right? You can build the best brand, but you don't have the best people, you will not be successful. I think the success of WestJet is the people that greet you when you go to the counter or when you're getting on the plane, or if you're running late and they just welcome you with a smile and the joke they tell you when you're on the plane. Right? I think that is the beauty of WestJet. I think that is why you're so successful. So thank you so much for including us in this celebration. I'm so delighted to be here on behalf of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and convey to you that we appreciate the work WestJet has done, appreciate the work that everyone has done, and we are so happy to be part of it. Thank you.